I want to say something to the Bible. You said that God stopped talking to the humans 2000 years ago, and I think that's wrong. I think he talked every day to everybody, and I think he never stopped to talk to us. He talks at this language we understand.
Yeah, but that's what the Bible said.
Yeah.
Or the Christian.
That's what the Bible said 2000 years ago. And in this time, the last 2000 years, he told every day the same things to other people.
I would add, I think God talks to us all the time through near-death experiences just to get the message through. It's one of the reasons why doctors developed resuscitation techniques in the late 60s, and that's when Raymond Moody wrote his book, Life After Life, that really kind of awakened the medical profession and the public at large to near-death experiences. And when you pay attention to that literature of the tens of thousands of reports available in books and journals and scientific reports, you'll find that more than 90% of people who have had a profound near-death experience, and many of them were previously agnostic or atheistic, but more than 90% of them come back not only believing, but knowing in the reality of a loving God force at the core of the universe. They don't need anybody else to tell them about it. And so I would say God in many ways is very much alive and communicating with us through near-death and similar experiences as we come into a richer understanding of what they're telling us about the nature of consciousness and reality. There's a book that I love. It's by a colleague. It's by Robert Koppes, C-O-P-P-E-S. It's called The Essence of Religions. And what he does is he takes the five main faiths, the three Abrahamic faiths of Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, and Buddhism and Hindu, and he compares them with the gold standard of near-death experiences, where near-death experiences are ultimately the teachers of love, kindness, compassion, mercy, acceptance, and forgiveness. And basically, I think that book does a lot to show us how religions could get much in alignment with this, but you don't need to worry that God is not communicating with us through all of these near-death experiences and through humanity awakening to them. That is a gigantic form of very real in the now communication from that God force at the core of the universe.
I would just like to add or say to Anke that I believe that there's, and I'm hoping that Eben and Neil would agree with this, but there's really never a time when we're not in communication with God or in communion with God, that our feelings, our thoughts, when we look at a tree, when we hear the sounds of the birds, when we smell a rose, we're always in communication with God because everything is of Godness, Now, whether or not it's a direct voice, I can't say. But the other thing to be important to say here is that sometimes our interpretation of God's message or what, the nature of the universe and what it's about, that we humans as human conduits can sometimes misinterpret God's meaning, even though he's constantly communicating with us. But I take solace in the fact that in some way, I'm always in connection with God and somehow in communion with God, even though I don't always, get it right. I don't always interpret it correctly, but hopefully I'm getting better and better at doing so, at knowing God's meaning.
I think the more we can just focus on unconditional love and realize, as I did when I came back from my coma, that one of the biggest problems was not that we don't love our enemy or love our neighbor enough. It's that we don't even love ourselves enough as the sacred divine beings that we truly are. And that is something that is best manifested by serving as a conduit. So through meditation, centering prayer, to get in touch with that kind of loving, infinite power of healing of that God force, and simply to allow it to flow through us and to help our fellow beings, so that the more we just focus on the beauty of nature and the beauty of what we can do to help others and be of service to the higher good, I think we're doing all we can to bring that loving God force into reality.